Go. Welcome back, guys. It's the second video of the day. We can talk about Actually, I'm gonna upload this the day after, probably the same day. But I really want to talk about my favorite team in the league, um, Sexland, the Cavs, of course. Honestly, they
It's a
didn't do.
disgusting name. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So joining me today, same as always, Rashid, and we talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly, for me personally, the reason I want to talk about them is possibly like since the draft already over, I wanted to see exactly how the roster looks so far, and not a lot of moves changed. Nobody really left beyond re-signing uh, Jared Allen. Jared Allen is really good as well, but it feels like Evan Mobley. We also got Evan Mobley as well. But let's focus on Jared Allen. He got, I think, either 4 years, 100 million, or 5 years. I think he got 5 years. 100 million, 100 million for 20 years of contract flat. So it's really just a flat contract. So this contract will probably get better over time. Yeah, it's a lot of money for a big man. People don't pay a lot of money for big man, but it feels like he is a great keep because we already traded him in the James Harden trade, and keeping him is a really fits our core. He's 23, 24 years old. So what's your thoughts on the team roster so far?
I mean, I like the project you guys got going on. I like, was it Evan Mobley? Is a very good prospect. Could have went 2 or 3. You know, it's not really good draft, and you guys lucked out getting in the top 3. Couldn't have lost with any of those 3 picks. I feel like Cunningham's probably going to end up being the best player in the draft, but Mobley could easily be the second best. So in terms of that, you guys lucked out. So just about developing talent. So I don't know what your coaching system is like and your player development is like, because you don't really see much out of Garland and Sexton, like very promising players that kind of been stagnant. I like Jared Allen. There's a lot of, I don't know, the rest of your squad is like, I don't know, uninspiring. But in terms of you guys got to build around this young guy, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Build around him. Whatever is best for him. That's what I'll do if I were you
Darius
guys.
Garland?
But not Darius Garland. Maybe him and Mobley.
No,
I'm not a
Mobley.
fan. And Sexton, I don't think he fits. But then
Honestly,
again, I'm not really a Cavs fan. You know more than me.
of course, like I feel like Darius Garland is going to be a second player, and Kostic's going to be a third option as well for like future on cornerstone, like the third guy. So honestly, Jared Allen is like more like a guy that plays defense. So honestly, last year we did not do really good on defense. We had a really great start of the season and started just fell off afterwards because injuries. Larry Nance is really good as well. So honestly, beyond that, um, I'm glad we didn't trade Sexton for sure. I really do like keeping Sexton. I do enjoy the energy he comes. He enjoys playing for the Cavaliers versus other players that if we traded for like Ben Simmons or something like that, they would not want to be in Cleveland. They not enjoy being there. And it feels like
Yeah.
having players like Sexton and Garland and Jared Allen also wanted to come back to the project and go on from there. The only player I do want to leave 100% is Kevin Love if he's committed to actually playing basketball because Dwayne Wade had a comment. Your favorite Miami Heat legend had a comment about him, his mental illness and all that. I respect mental illness. I do, I 100% do. But it feels like same times he be having tantrums. He threw the ball one possession. I understand Collin Sexton, the rumors about him being a bad teammate, him not really passing the ball. But at the same time, that team that year was so bad, like straight up. The first year he came, he didn't know how to play basketball, but keeping real, that team was really trash. The only good player they have in that team was really just Jordan Clarkson and a decent player and like Larry Nance. Everybody else in that team was really like past their prime. They really do nothing in the playoffs. It was just really sad to hear. But other than that, they really turned it around. We got a center. We get Evan Mobley who can play power forward. He is not traditional center. He can handle the ball, play make, and play defense. And he has potential. So for him, his ceiling is really he's very unique. His ceiling is whatever he wanted to be, honestly. It's how much he wants it. And in summer league so far, he didn't really showcase his skills. He did a little bit of highlights, like always any young player did. Like you mentioned, Cade showed what he does and stuff like that, showcases potential and what he comes to the league. So did definitely Green did. Jalen Green came and showed exactly what he's meant to do in the league, and that's score. Evan Mobley is a more dynamic player. He can provide more and do more for the team versus like the other two players. He has a higher ceiling, I believe, but at the same time,
Mhm.
his floor right now is lower than them. He can't come in and provide immediate buckets every night. He can't do
Okay.
that. He can provide
So I have a question
defense
for you.
and playmaking. Go ahead.
So for me, okay, first, what season is Sexton in?
Hits fourth.
Okay. And he had a decent season. So like you could see the potential, right? They normally say by the third year, you know what a player is.
Yeah, he
And
did.
he
He's
averaged 20, he averaged like what, 20 points a game.
24,
And then was
24 points.
like, yeah, my bad, 24 points a game. And then was like C-level talking point on all-star contention, right? So I'm like, okay, potential future all-star. So I see where you're coming from there. Garland, he's probably entering his third year, and we'll probably see what he could be.
Yeah.
And I like Garland. Sexton, he's one of those, I don't know. I guess you like him or you don't. But for me, I'm like Sexton, I think it's the team setup, right? I feel like you guys never went all in on him. Like, I feel like if you guys wanted to, you would have moved away with players like Kevin Love a long time ago, right? Done whatever you could have done, right? He's just sitting on, I guess, in the locker room, writing books, doing everything but playing basketball for you guys, collecting a paycheck. I'm like, if you're gonna go and invest in a young guy, especially you said they have issues, right? You got to go in on your young player, right? Give him that time to develop. Right now, I don't know. I feel like you guys, there's a lot of question marks. I feel like last season, you guys did a good job of moving forward, finally leaving that LeBron era, getting rid of players from that era, bringing in Jared Allen, getting younger. So for
Yeah.
me, I guess my question is, what do you think Sexton's potential is? Do you think him and Garland can play well together? I watched a couple of games of y'all, and I'm like, oh, when they're not on the floor together, you can kind of see both of their strengths. But I feel like when they're on the floor together, it kind of diminishes both of them because they do, I guess, similar things.
No, that's not true.
And
They provide, honestly, the confusion comes from the previous year with the previous coach. He wanted to play 2 point guard, just the way that Portland, they're not really point guards. They're just two guards, two guard
yeah,
lineups. Where the thing about that is they're literally an inch shorter than both players. I think CJ McCollum's 6'3" and Dame's 6'2". But the problem with the
mhm,
Bickerstaff, I really like about him is he focused on defense and also played both of those players in different roles. Garland is he facilitates for the whole team. He passes.
mhm.
He also shoots three. Collin Sexton is really just he, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do in the league. He's like a Jordan Clarkson, but with a higher ceiling, scoring. That's literally it. He
Okay.
had a really efficient season. 24 points is not something to really knock out or say anything about. 24 points is really good for him, especially on his
Yeah.
third year. It's not bad,
Yeah.
you know? So honestly, we have clear roles for each player as for any other team. We don't have a lot of
Okay.
holes when it comes to we just have to develop the players and get good bench players to complement. Other teams have missing pieces. We have our center of the future, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, and point guard. Colin Sexton might be
Oh, yeah, I
traded.
forgot.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys
Isaac
do have
Cora.
a. I totally forgot Isaac. I was drafted him
Yeah, so
last year.
Isaac, I've been watching the summer league games. He did really good. He got a lot bigger. Honestly, if we can get Evan Mobley as big he got, honestly, Isaac Cora already came NBA ready. He just had a lot of like problems when it comes to like ball handling, shooting, but his defense, his energy. That's why they decided to pick him up. And honestly, the question mark I only have Evan Mobley is his work ethic and his grind. Because I know Colin Sexton plays hard out every game. So does Isaac Cora. There's Garland, pretty good. He does exactly what you want to do. He has good nights, bad nights like any other player. And Jared Allen, he has a role, he fulfills it. Rim roller. Exactly. So it feels like if we have players, and we have Larry Nance also on the bench that actually wants, he's a Mr. Cavs, just like any other player, like LeBron. He, not like a thing like LeBron, but he does every little thing. Like if you're gonna trade a player, He's a top player that has a lot of value in any other team. A great role player. He deserves to be in a playoff team, but sadly in the Cavs. But he's a mentor. I want Kevin Love to be just like Larry Nance, be a mentor. But I feel like Kevin Love's never going to be a mentor. And if you can trade him to a team like the Miami Heat or the Lakers, it's never going to happen. But if it does, I'd be happy. But I think he's worse than Blake Griffin was, and Blake Griffin got bought out. That's what I believe. Kevin Love is still a good player, but under all that scrutiny, all the same time, the players feel like he doesn't support the players as much as he should, like any other vet. He doesn't act like a vet. He acts like an entitled type of person who's very entitled to certain things and acts a certain way. I don't know why. I'm not in a locker room to see what exactly was going on. I see a lot of like Sexton rumors coming out that he's not a good player, a good teammate, and all these things. Like probably could be him leaking it out because he's the only player from that year, the first year, that's still a prominent player in the team. That still these rumors coming out because maybe it could be Jared Allen as well, but other than that, this team is a really.
So isn't that a problem with management then, not identifying that there's one player that doesn't fit, and for the betterment of the team, getting rid of that player?
Yeah, they did.
Look at him. He's I mean, he's still on the contract. He's still on your team. So
that's a hard contract.
In terms of,
I believe that's the hardest
you could buy
contract.
him out. You could buy him out. But I feel like it does your team.
Keep in mind,
because you're not getting anything for him. How much are you paying him a season?
I think he has $62 million left on his contract. $62 million, 2 more years.
So you're just gonna let him write books, play 20 games a season?
Why would you reward him
mess
for
up
playing
team
like
chemistry
that?
And player development?
Honestly,
you're messing up your potential future by letting that negativity, a player that clearly does not fit, stay in the fold when you could easily just buy him out. Better players have been bought out for far less reasons.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like I told you, Blake Griffin's the better player. They got bought out. Aldridge is a better player. He got bought out. Honestly. But at the same time, you had to keep in mind, Kemba Walker got bought out. I was really surprised about that. But we're not the same team as those teams. Like Detroit had a lot of power forwards. They got Grant, and they also got another player. I forgot his name. And they got Sadiq Bey, and they're really brand new in the rebuild. We're not. We've been rebuilding since LeBron left. You know, that's a lot. We haven't seen the playoffs or even challenge. So at the same time, it feels like either the team values him, like the owner or the coaching staff, or either the GM values him a lot highly, and they think he's worth something instead of simply like other teams seeing him as a depreciating value, like asset, versus the Cavs team as an asset. So you have two people, pretty much two different forces and two different mindsets on how he's viewed. But now it feels like he's definitely viewed as a negative asset. You know what I mean? So I believe that the fans 100%. Every comment I see on Twitter, Bleacher Report, all say the same things. Okay, just sign and buy him out. At the same time, he shouldn't be rewarded. I feel like buying players out for acting like that should not be rewarded. They should be just sent home, stay on the roster. He's going to get paid regardless, unless he agrees to a buyout for a less amount that removes him $13 million off his contract and spread over 5 years. He's probably not going to agree to that. You know, Blake Griffin agreed to certain situations like that, and certain players do that because they want to win. He doesn't want to win, from what I've seen. If he wants to get bought out, he will play. If he wanted to perform, he will perform. But injuries, I can't hold him against that. But his attitude when he plays is intolerable. I really do not like seeing him play. Especially now we got Evan Mobley literally in the same position. I believe Larry Nance is above him on the totem pole as well. And we got other players. We're trying to build a whole culture in the Cavaliers right now at the moment. And he's not a part of that. But we have to see how it goes. He's definitely going to be bought out either at the beginning of the season or toward the trade deadline, or probably flipped, because that's a huge contract after 2 years. You know, even though Cleveland is not a free agent destination, but that's still money on the table. And honestly, they're probably going to try him out one more time and see how he fits. He could definitely be a mentor to Evan Mobley, because Kevin Love can rebound. He did get bigger. He lost weight, but he was a bigger player. He knows how to rebound. He has he was a former All-Star, probably Hall of Fame contender, 100%. So that's
Yeah.
why I feel like he does have value. Like Sir Blake Griffin, there's no reason for him to stay in Detroit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And he had the team itself did not value him, and he himself
So I have a
wanted to leave.
question.
But go ahead.
I have another question for you. Is it frustrating as a fan seeing, I guess, similar teams in similar situations, right? Rebuilding forms, those are similar draft picks, but they're more exciting. You know, they're having more success.
Just
You
the
know,
Cleveland,
like
bro. Just Cleveland. That's how Cleveland is. People don't even without LeBron James, people say the same things. Like people literally say it's LeBron's team versus other teams like Milwaukee, Detroit, because we at the same time we were tanking for a couple years, but we can literally fifth pick, and what the eighth pick
yeah, truly unlucky. There was that one year
on the
when you guys went all in for the
yeah,
first overall draft pick, didn't
and
get
we
it.
still
Could have
keep
had
in mind.
Zion.
Yeah, at the same time, keep in mind, like we still got a great player. But look at the players around that pick below that didn't perform. Like look at
I'll give you that. You guys
yeah, it was
do a
great
good
players. They're
job
good
of
players.
drafting. You guys do draft well, right? And from LeBron James to Kyrie to even
We had
what's his face, Wiggins,
we had a couple of bad
Wiggins
picks. We
to
had to get honestly out of
okay,
every player we
Bennett.
drafted.
Other than Bennett, I really can't say you guys are bad at drafting. There's teams that are notoriously awful at drafting. The Sacramento Kings are awful at drafting. You guys, I can't say that, bro. Because Garland, decent player, he became a decent player. Sexton, decent player. Most players don't make it 3-4 seasons, but every guys you draft are still in the league and have something to
Yeah,
offer. So
like
like
even
you
Porter,
guys are
Kevin
good at
Porter Jr. Yeah,
drafting.
even Kevin Porter, like he's a great player, but at the same time, he had a terrible attitude. And honestly, the rumors that he threw like nachos on the floor, that his locker got replaced, be sent to, it's just kind of childish. And we already knew this. He had like a couple of criminal cases, and he dropped. Of course, it got dropped. But at the same time, it's like the coach didn't really want him as well, so the GM, so they moved him, and he's flourishing in Rockets, and I'm really happy for him. I feel like he's a great talent. I was really looking forward to when we signed him. I believe he was a better prospect than Darius Garland, and he does have better potential. But the thing about him, he has issues when it comes to like conduct and stuff like that. But other than that, I think he's a great.
Okay, so
We had a
now
great team. We did great moves and everything. Every time Kevin Porter scores 50 points, I'm gonna like, dang, we really had that, and it's gone. That's kind of sad.
yeah.
But we still
Yeah.
acquired him. That's the thing. Keep in mind,
Okay.
what's worse? Us miss like a lot of teams skipped over him. So you just can't blame the Cavs
Yeah.
for not seeing his potential, because if you blame us for trading him, yeah, but he did some things. Like he
Yeah.
didn't have a flawless record. You can't have those type of players
Yeah.
in your young team and at the same time expect him to play every single game, because he is a starter caliber player for us, but he's not good enough to play with that attitude. And the Rockets, I feel like he changed his attitude because he got humbled. Getting traded and playing the G
Yeah.
League for his talent
Yeah.
really humbled him, and he's really turned it around.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. Other than that, playing
Fit and
tournaments.
timing is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
fit and
for
timing is everything.
there's no roster movement, honestly, just simply just further growth. As for
Yeah.
what do you think their potential seeding is this season?
Again, the East is weak, so they do have, yeah, like I said, probably could get into that 8, 9, 7, even as high as 7 range, maybe get
Kinda
into
high.
that playoff tournament.
It's kind of high.
I
But
mean,
honestly,
because you guys, because you just got to keep in mind, right? Like over the past 3 years, you guys are getting better every year, right? And like you said, like one bright spot from last season is Sexton being a potential all-star, 24 points per game. He's only gonna go up from here, and then like who knows, Garland can take the next step. See Jared Allen, maybe they build a rapport, you know, and also these young guys developing. So you guys have probably one of the more brighter futures. So like, why not, right? Because look at teams like the Hornets. They were also in that playoff tournament area, right? And you guys are not too far off from them. You guys have
yeah,
similar
I feel like
talent
we have a
level.
better roster than them when it comes to fit. It feels like LaMelo just gets a lot of credit. He's a good player, but for the team on paper is still really bad. Besides him,
I think
Booknight, and Gordon Hayward. Besides those players, they have nothing else going on for them. They got rid of
Scary Terry, that's disrespectful, bro. Relax.
yeah, he's good, but he's not like a game changer. You know what I mean? Like those players I
What are you talking
mentioned.
about? He's their top scorer,
Yeah,
and
but
he's
you know,
literally willed them to wins.
okay. Besides him, besides those four players,
Okay.
they don't have really anything beyond that. You know, they're really like
I
a very
mean,
thin.
PJ Washington's a good player.
You think they're
I
better
mean,
than
I
the
watched a
Cavs
lot
on
of
paper? You think beyond that,
on paper,
besides,
yeah, they're better than you guys on paper
I
due
don't
to the
believe that.
fact
I
that
believe the
they
Cavs are better.
because I'm potential wise, you guys are better, right? But in terms of team wise, currently as it's built, they're better. Because in terms of they have a defined roles, right? They have a clear number one guy. You guys have like three guys that could be the number one, right?
We have a
From
clear number
Garland to
one.
Sexton to
We have
Mobley.
a facilitator.
Who's your number one?
Sexton, of course.
I'm
He's
talking
literally our
about
number
right
one.
when you're drafting players in the top 5 every year, right? It's for the reason to find one guy to build around. You have 3 guys that 3 to 4 guys that you could potentially build around. But the fact that you guys are not and saying you'll grow together, that's unrealistic, right? You got to pick one guy and be like, yo, he gets the touches. And the fact that it's Sexton, it's kind of sad because there's players on that squad that have potential higher upside. You said you compared him to what's his face?
Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson, and that's the ceiling, and that's clearly not the guy you build around.
Yeah, he's like Jordan. He's right now at the same level of Jordan Clarkson without the passing. I feel like he has a better ceiling than him, like a higher ceiling Jordan Clarkson. But keep in mind, he has a
relative
role.
to your team, right?
Yeah.
Relative to your team, right? Mobley has a higher ceiling.
He's our best.
Okoro has a higher ceiling.
Of course, they all do.
Right.
The thing is about that is about
and Garland has a higher ceiling, right?
He has a better floor. He has a better floor. Like performing right now, he's there.
Yeah.
Scoring wise, he's there.
But when you're not gonna win games, right? When you already know you're not gonna win games, it's gonna be hard for you to make the playoffs. That's when you let your potential players, right? Your future players. This guy has the potential to be a star. You build around him. You let him handle the ball, get the touches, make the mistakes, because that's when they grow, right? But I feel like it's an organization issue, which y'all don't have that, right? So like LaMelo Ball, right? They started him off slowly, but as soon as they saw, yeah, this guy has potential to be something great, right? We talked about it last year. They had too many guards, right? What did they do? Devontae Graham out of there this past summer, right? Malik Monk, another guy out of there, getting his number. So now he's the face of the franchise. Everybody is accepting that role, and they're better for that.